Good evening. I would like to welcome everyone to another edition of Exposing the Truth. This is episode number 3, and this series is based on John 3:19 through 21. Previously on Exposing the Truth.
If this is inappropriate for me to read to you, this is inappropriate for our children, okay? We are here because we care. We care about our children. Please get these dirty books out of our schools. Thank you.
But I almost think it could stand to be kind of reviewed and gone over a little bit more in depth before we rush to a vote on it. That's
How long has this policy been tabled?
It was originally submitted back in November 16th, back in 1999.
That's what I thought.
This is one incompetent Board of Ed. If you can't get your act together, then resign today. These children deserve your best. Oh, and by the way, you just got exposed.
I'll make that motion.
Now I'll second it.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded, or hands cramped. Okay, the motion carried unanimously.
As we have seen in the last 2 episodes, the Board of Ed blindly trusts the superintendent and his staff with the selection of books.
Honestly, I'm not happy where the policy is still. So I'd like to work with Fulton staff and examine some other policies and get this thing right.
So the big question is, did the superintendent, the board attorney, and the staff get it right? Let's check out a few books and see for ourselves. Our featured presentation is a collection of library books, Somerset County Public Schools. What type of measuring stick should we use to remove library books from our schools? I think we should use the Board of Ed versus Pico. The Supreme Court created an exception for the removal of library books. Those were books that are pervasively vulgar or those that are educationally unsuitable can and should be removed. Okay, now that we know what the measuring stick is, let's check out a few books and see how they measure up. The first book is #Murder Trending by Gretchen McNeil. Yes, it is at Chrisfield Academy and High School. The second book is All American Boys by Jason Reynolds and Brendan Keeley. All American Boys is at both Chrisfield Academy High School and Washington Academy High School. Warning, material of adult nature. This literature is not intended for minors, unless your child attends Chrisfield Academy High School or Washington High School. Viewer discretion is advised.
Jasper wasn't even my boyfriend, just this dude I did some hacking with once in a while. He was pretty basic library systems, low security shit. Not in my league at all, but he had a big dick, and sometimes a girl just needs a big dick.
Please pay attention to the bottom of the screen. You will see excerpts from each book with the page number for reference. The definition of vulgar is offensive in language, being lewdly or profanely indecent. So the spreading of offensive language throughout every part of the book is pervasively vulgar. Notice how many clips of the dirty excerpts there are. Keep your eye on them. They are offensive to me. What about you? A few weeks ago, I met with a member of the staff at a high school. The staff member and I talked very openly. The staff member made the following statement. If we started banning books because of profane language, half of the library would be lost. Now remember, the staff, better known as a media specialist, picks the library books. They rely on reviews from professional library, media, and literacy organizations, reviews from vendors, and good old professional judgment. Parents and citizens, do you trust the professional library, media, and literacy organizations? Really? Do you trust the reviews from the vendors? They would love to sell us more dirty books. Are you still following the dirty excerpts at the bottom of the page? Nasty, aren't they? It's sad to say, we can't count on the professional judgment from the staff, or from the superintendent, or from the board attorney. Did they get it right?
Honestly, I'm not happy where the policy is still. And so I'd like to work with Fulton staff and examine some other policies and get this thing right. So
We aren't even halfway through the book. And as you can see, this book just doesn't measure up. Hashtag murder trending. You just got exposed. A few excerpts from the library book, All American Boys. You know, some of us always wondered what the schools would be like after God was taken out of them. Now we know. You know, I think I know what Jesus meant when he said, "Truly I tell you, unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." What are some of the characteristics of little children? They are trusting. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. They also believe. Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man comes to the Father except through me." Little children are faithful. Many believe in Santa Claus, thinking he's coming down the chimney on Christmas Eve. And they even leave him cookies and milk. Jesus said to the woman who touched his garment, "Your faith has made you well." Children are also dependent on someone. They need a support system. They can't do it alone. Jesus says to Nicodemus, "For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have everlasting life." Now we know why Jesus said, "Unless you change and become like little children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." That is why he also gives such a stern warning. You see, even though little ones are trusting, believing, faithful, and dependent, they are also very vulnerable. They can be deceived, brainwashed, and easily taken advantage of. This is Jesus' warning. If he calls one of these little ones who trust in me to fall into sin, it will be better for you to have a large millstone tied around your neck and be drowned in the depths of the sea. You know, at one time, even people who weren't Christians cared about protecting the innocence of school children. Does it matter to you anymore? You really want your children reading these dirty books? Are you sick of the dirty excerpts at the bottom of the screen? School board, where is your sense of urgency? You have the power to end this. You can ban all the pervasively vulgar books from the libraries. You just changed the library policy in September. Remember the one with Dr. Gaddis, Fulton Jeffers, and staff? Dr. Gaddis said, "Let's get it right."
Honestly, I'm not happy where the policy is still. And so I'd like to work with Fulton staff and examine some other policies and get this thing right. So.
Oh, and All American Boys, you just got exposed. Did they get it right? You see, it was never the superintendent, the board attorney, or the staff's role to get it right. This one's all on the Board of Ed. It states in the Maryland School Law book that only the county board has the authority to modify their policy. The school law book also says the policy role of the board is potentially their most important role. The board allowed someone else to do their homework for them, didn't they? I tell my son all the time, if you want something done right, you have to do it yourself. Why are you needed if someone else does your work for you?
If we come up with something that needs to be changed, then that wording or whatever would be introduced and we discuss it.
What
we've got here is failure to communicate. Some men you just can't reach. So you get what we had here last week, which is the way he wants it. Well, he gets it.